Yeah, you read the title of this video. It's pretty much true. Peep the clothes back there. Social distancing, I'm kidding. Everything's gonna make sense by the end of the video. Hey you, it's Katie you. I was debating whether I want to make this video. I was like, is this something they really want to see? And then I realized it's my channel and I can do whatever I want with it. In my 2021 feedback form, a lot of you guys said that you guys wanted to know more about what's going on with me, my life, my internal thoughts, which thank you so much for caring. A few of you guys might remember that when I was preparing for my trip to Hawaii, I decided to do a little thing spicy and get eyelash extensions. Super trivial, cute, fun, flirty. As they say, don't get extensions because once you get extensions, you'll get addicted. How will this tie into clothing? You will see, okay? Sit tight. I get these eyelash extensions. The people were right. I was hooked. I was addicted. Yeah, I was like, I will continue attaching these hairs to my eyelids for the rest of my life as long as my wallet can fund it.
Bitch, you thought.
Once I flew over here to Providence, Rhode Island to finish my last year of school, I attend Brown University, which is... I attend Brown University. I had to convert to a new lash lady. After my second or third fill, all of a sudden, I developed an insane allergic reaction to what could only be my eyelash extensions. My eyelids swelled up to the point that I could barely open my eyes. I couldn't really breathe properly, so I was bedridden for like 2 days, suffering, barely breathing, and then I wheel myself over and get these eyelash extensions removed, thank goodness. Once the extensions are removed, the immediate symptoms die down. Like I can breathe properly again. I'm not like sneezing, hacking up my lungs, but something about the composition of my eyelids never went back to normal and they continue to flare up at seemingly random times throughout my life. They would just be swollen shut and it really interfered with my work schedule because I need my face to look presentable when I film. It was really frustrating, especially because I didn't know what was causing it. I had gotten rid of the supposed allergen, but it wasn't going away and I was in a pretty dark place. By the time I flew back to Arizona for winter break, I had had it up to here. I was so fed up with my health. And so my winter break was pretty much a doctor's tour. I consulted an optometrist, an ophthalmologist, and a dermatologist, as well as an allergen tester. None of them provided me useful feedback. And I don't blame the doctors because the only person that sees the big picture is you, who lives through it every single day. It's really hard to solve problems that require interdisciplinary problem solving if you go to a specialist doctor. So holding nothing against them, but they were not helpful at all. What finally started making me connect the dots is the day before I flew back to Rhode Island, my mom was freaking out over her new Costco blanket that she got on a discount and it was furry and fuzzy and amazing. She invites me to her bed and I lie down on it. What is that superhero? Every time something goes wrong, the hairs on his arm stand or something. It was literally that, but my eyelids. And I was like, wait a damn minute.
Wait a damn minute.
Wait a damn minute.
Wait a damn minute.
I think I'm starting to make a connection. Funny story, I've struggled with eczema for now 6-7 years. How that was triggered is I walked into and my skin immediately breaks out into eczematic hives, rashes, something. And then that persisted into navigating eczema. I talk more about my eczema journey and how it's interfered with my mental health in my body dysmorphia video, which you can click up in the cards. When I mentioned this to my mom, she was like, that actually makes so much sense because you must have walked into and your skin must have detected some fabric. And so we're like, what the frig? That's freaking crazy. And then I have to get on a flight and go back to Rhode Island. After maybe 20 hours of travel, I climb into my beloved bed that I haven't slept in for a month now, and I've missed her very much. She has a memory foam mattress, memory foam pillow. I freaking love her. As I'm trying to fall asleep, my eyelids swell shut. No freaking way. And now my ability to sense and make correlations has reached a whole new level. Before, I had no idea that it would be potentially fabrics, but now I was able to see that connection and my brain was more alert to see when my eyelids would start being like, let's stir shit up. I go into panic mode and I take all my bed sheets, throw them into my washer and lock them in there. And I go to bed that night with 0 sheets. But guess what? my eyelids went completely back to normal overnight. And then I started to realize every time I filmed in this studio, every time I edited at my desk right here, my eyelids would be flaring up. And so I was like, oh no. It must be something in my clothes. A closet exorcism ensued. I literally went up to every single piece of clothing, held it to my face, and within 30 seconds, I knew. My eyelids would start buzzing and getting very itchy and red and hot. As soon as my eyelids said that, I yeeted it into a garbage bag. By the end of that witch hunt, I think 40% of my closet was gone. And keep in mind that during this entire time, I was sleeping without bed sheets. Like, I was literally using a beach towel, guys, and we don't keep the heat on at night. Yeah, it was a really difficult time.
But Katie, the entire thing that triggered this was your eyelash extensions. Like, what do your eyelash extensions have to do with clothing, have to do with bed sheets, have to do with rugs?
Well, according to the American Contact Dermatitis Society, there's this chemical called formaldehyde, which I've also heard is used to preserve like dead bodies. Like, that's how strong of a chemical it is. That is in so many synthetic fabrics because its composition allows it to resist wrinkles, resist stains, and resist static. And so a lot of companies bind formaldehyde into their fabrics so that they're really convenient for users to use. If you own a rug and it says like static free, it has formaldehyde in it. Lash glue releases formaldehyde when it hardens. Clothing, if it says wrinkle free, no ironing needed, if you can throw it in the dryer and have it resist heat, it probably has formaldehyde in it. And this is the time where I firsthand realized the opportunity cost that the human race has given up in exchange for convenience, and that is our literal health. At this point, I'm still sleeping on a sheetless bed. I had to throw away half of my closet. I never want to go through this health crisis again. What are some brands or places I can look where I know that I won't be breathing in these fumes? Because the issue is so not talked about. I actually had no place to look. I had to scroll through so many fine print ingredient lists and make sure that there were no corners they were cutting. I had to search for, I think, about a week to locate the new sheets that I did end up buying. And by the way, these sheets cost a total of $400. I was willing to pay that price because falling asleep in a bed that was poisonous to me was something that I could no longer consensually do to myself. And so I paid the price, but like, it also took me so long to even find those brands. It just makes me sad that in order to be surrounded by fabrics that aren't saturated in chemicals, I had to do so much research and actively seek out companies that don't do that, because that is the exception and not the norm. Not only is like the commoditization and commodification of the fashion industry bad for the environment, bad for our economy and our workers, it is also actually terrible for our own bodies. It just really, really opened my eyes to a whole different part of the fashion and fabric and textile industry. And I'm not here to put any company down, call anybody out, take down entire governments. Like, I'm not trying to do something grand, and nobody's the bad guy here. Like, people are just trying to make things more efficient. That's why we developed these chemicals, because they solve a need. Just at what cost is like the question that I keep on thinking about. We talk a lot on social media about fast fashion and how bad it is. And it's something that I have been privately grappling with, because I do think there's a lot of pressure on influencers to, if they are to be advocates for a cause, for them to be perfect advocates for a cause. And once you take that stance, if you deviate from it, if you mess up even a little bit, people are like, you're not the ally or spokesperson that we want you to be. And I really wish that there was a more forgiving culture of, at least you're trying and the effort is what matters, because the more people that can put in an imperfect effort and not be chided for when they mess up, the more powerful the movement becomes. But because that's not our culture, influencers, including me, have felt very, very cautious about openly taking a stance. With all those thoughts that were already in my mind after a year and a half of being a fashion influencer, this new trial that I went through just uncovered a whole new layer. But why am I making this video? It's because with the platform that I have, I think it's necessary that I make this issue more known than it currently is. Going forward, I don't really know how this is gonna change how I approach fashion, how I consume fashion. At the time that you're watching this video, I have purged my closet of every piece of clothing that like triggered my eyelids after 30 seconds. A lot of them probably still do have like formaldehyde, but it's not enough to trigger my body, and I can't throw out my entire closet. I feel like there's probably a lot of you guys that are going through some weird, questionable, undetected, unknown, unexplainable allergy that I was going through silently. And if I can be even a little bit of a solution or a bit of clarity or a guiding light in that, that in itself is so rewarding and the best that I could possibly hope to accomplish with this video. I feel like this is a cause that I'm gonna be fighting for like my entire life. The way that this huge health struggle of mine and my biggest passion have interconnected, it's a coincidence that I can't deny or ignore, in that, at least in my opinion, God wastes nothing. Every single trial and hardship, it has amounted to something. I am very grateful, and I want to end this video on a positive, hopeful note in that progress is definitely possible and awareness is the first step, which is what we have accomplished today. And so yeah, that brings me to the end of today's catch-up video diary venting session. Thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far into the video, it's truly a testament to how much you care about me, and I love you so much for it. Thank you, and you mean the world to me. Stay safe and healthy until I see you next week. I love you, Euligans, so much. Bye.